Hi there guys, my name is Jacob and welcome back to my channel. I was in the office last week and I was working away at my desk, and then out of the corner of my eye a guy walked in who I have not seen in years, and he saw me at my desk and he came over and we had a great catch up. But one of the questions that he asked me was, why am I still in the job that I'm in now, when the last time I saw him, which was probably 3 or 4 years ago, I was also doing the same job then. And he was surprised that I hadn't moved on or got promoted and, gone up in the world, that type of thing. And I'm going to explain to you guys exactly what I explained to him. And that is that, well, firstly, I'm happy in my job. And to be honest, I don't think these days a lot of people can actually say that. And I think being happy in your job goes a long way. So that is reason number one, is why I'm still in the job that I'm in now, that I have been doing for close to 8 years now. The second reason is, since COVID, my job has changed quite dramatically. Before COVID, I used to work in the office 5 days a week. And for me, it was a lot, put it that way. The reason for that is the commute that I have to do to work is around 75 to 80 miles there and back. It's kind of like 35 to 40 miles there and the same back. And that adds up to around a 2 to 3 hour commute every single day. Now, I did that 5 days a week, and I did it because I had to. Before COVID, there was no other option. As much as I pleaded with my company to let me work from home, it was never an option. But obviously, COVID changed that. And my job ended up going from 5 days a week in an office to 5 days a week at home. Now, fast forward 2 or 3 years post-COVID, and I now do 1 day a week in the office, generally speaking. If it's necessary to go in more, then of course I go in more. But generally it's 1 day a week, and that suits me down to the ground. I don't want to do any more. I don't really want to do 1 day, if I'm honest. But, if that satisfies the company, then so be it. And as you can tell, going from 5 days a week down to 1 day has saved me a lot of money. In all honesty, that was almost like an instant pay rise. As soon as they said, you're a home worker, it's almost like my salary went up like, 5 grand or something, because the amount of money I used to spend on fuel was ridiculous. Add on top of that the amount of time that I used to spend commuting. All that adds up, and it has a big impact on your life as well. So me in my current role, 5 years ago, let's say just before COVID, I was actually thinking of leaving this job. But obviously post-COVID, this job has changed so much that now I feel like I'm in a sweet spot where I get paid a nice amount, an amount that I find is fair and provides me a pretty comfortable life. I get a lot of freedom because my job is working from home, and a lot of my job is kind of self-managed. So I have a set amount of work that I need to get done. And I can do that kind of in my own time. It's up to me to schedule my day and things like that. I don't really get micromanaged. So again, a lot of freedom and a lot of independence to do my job how and kind of when I want to. Now, of course, I get managed, and the quality of my work is looked at and things like that. So I have to perform. But I do feel like there is a lot of freedom and a lot of independence in my job. And again, I value that massively. I also enjoy the people that I work with. And again, I think that goes a long way. I know quite a few friends that work jobs that they don't really like, and they don't like the people they work with. And it impacts them on a mental health level, and just on a general level. You don't want to go to the office if you don't enjoy being around the people that you have to work with. Obviously, for me, it's less of an issue because I only go in 1 day a week, but it would still be an issue if I didn't enjoy being around those people. But as I said to the guy that came in when we had the catch up, he was saying, well, why, have you not looked to leave, or, have you not gone for promotions, things like that? And it's funny because, in those few years that I haven't seen him, I have had opportunities to take promotions, to take other jobs within the same company that I work at. And I've chosen not to, because I do feel like I've hit a sweet spot in this job, and I'm kind of just making the most of it while that lasts. I don't know how long this is going to last. At any time, they may ask me to start going back to the office, at which point that might force my hand, and it might force me to look for something else, go for different positions, maybe even look outside the company. I've worked in this company now for 13 years. I won't say what company, but it's a telecoms company. So, there's only so many of those. But yeah, I've worked for them for 13 years, which again gives me a little bit of protection, not from being sacked or being made redundant or anything like that. But if they were to make me redundant, those 13 years gives me a little bit of a buffer, because they would have to pay me a certain amount of money. I'm not quite sure what that money is, but it would be an amount that would tide me over for at least probably 3 months or more, where I could either take a bit of time off or use that time to really look for a job that I'm interested in doing. But again, it provides that little bit of protection, a little bit of security, that if the worst was to happen, it wouldn't be so bad. Whereas if I move jobs now, especially out of the company, I would lose that redundancy package that I've built up. And that's a big thing, something that, I don't take for granted. And I know it's there in the background if anything should ever happen. So yeah, that was kind of what I was explaining to him. And he kind of got where I was coming from. But he's kind of caught up in a world like everybody else is, in this kind of always wanting more, always pushing for that next job role, that more responsibility, more money, more benefits, all that type of stuff. And I get it. And I know that is what most people do. But I think pursuing more all the time, too much of something can be bad. And I think sometimes you do just have to appreciate the position you're in. And, sometimes just enjoy the moment that you're in. Like I say, I'm fairly sure, I don't know for certain, but I'm fairly sure the position I'm in right now, working from home, being happy in my job, being happy with how much I'm paid, things like that. I'm sure this won't last forever. Changes will come within the role, things like that will probably force me to look elsewhere and do other things. But for right now, I am happy to enjoy the position I'm in, enjoy the moment, and not keep pushing for more. At some point in my life, I'm sure that I might want to go for a management position or do something completely different, because at the end of the day, our careers are long, let's face it. We quite often have to work for 20, 30, 40 years, and you probably won't want to do the same thing for that whole period of time. And like I say, I've been with this company for 13 years. The first kind of 4 years, I did a different job. And now kind of the last 8, coming up for 9, I think, I've done the job that I do now. When I took the job, I never thought I would stay in it this long. And had COVID not have happened and the whole working from home thing not come about, to be quite honest, I don't think I probably would be in this job now. But with those changes, and I think other people in my position might say the same, working from home changes everything. It gives you so much more flexibility. And I feel like I've gone from working 5 days in an office, commuting every day, coming home where you are just shattered from the day. You just want to almost make your tea and go to bed. And you just do that on repeat for 5 days. And you're just looking forward to the weekend. And it is that kind of cliche of being on a hamster wheel where life is just passing you by and you're just praying for the next weekend to come. And before you know it, the weekend's come and it's gone and it's Monday morning again. And now in the position I'm in right now with working from home and, you know, the flexibility and the freedom where I can log on at 8, log off at 4, and I'm at home ready to enjoy my evening or with whatever I've planned. There's no commuting. I'm far less tired because I don't have the commuting, because ultimately that was what made me probably the most tired. It's what zapped me of my energy, is being sat in a car for an hour and a half there and an hour and a half back. And as I said before, add on the costs of that, and it is just a tiring, draining experience all round. But not having any of that anymore, it's transformative, honestly. It's changed my job. I would say it's changed my life as well, to be quite honest. And I am just happy to live in this moment, enjoy this moment, carry on with the job I'm doing, and see how long I can keep this going for. But I would love to hear from you guys. What do you think is the right way to go about things in careers? Do you think I am stagnating, holding myself back? Do you think I should be pushing for more money, more promotions, things like that? I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments, so let me know down below. And also let me know what your position is. I'd love to hear from you guys, kind of what is your day-to-day work life like? Do you feel like you're overworked? Do you have a similar position to me where you work from home? I would love to hear it down in the comments, so let me know. And guys, please hit the like, hit the subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one.